All right, good morning, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and call to order the August 12th study session and ask for a roll call, please.
Director Nicole Wiltshire. Here. Secretary Arthur Perry.
Here.
Vice President Robert Uten.
Here.
President Mike Schaefer.
Here, thank you. Public comments, anyone from the public wishing to speak? Don't sing. Well, you're the public, I guess.
Okay.
I see no one who really wants to speak. We'll go to our items of study. Scott?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to turn this over to Mark Esper, who's going to introduce one of our newest employees.
Yeah, thank you for letting me share some experience. I'm really happy that Natalia has come to work for us. Natalia Cervantes is over by the lectern there. She started about a month or so ago, and she started with Chick-fil-A as a cashier and worked her way up to marketing director for Chick-fil-A. In 2021, she went to work for Modern Media and Marketing in Los Angeles, and she developed media strategies and community outreach for the clientele that she served. And as a result of her marketing efforts for that particular client, they had a 20% increase in public engagement. She used social media, partnerships, and close relationships to accomplish that. I guess about a year or so ago, she decided to leave and give back to her church for a year, and that year is up, and I'm blessed in that she decided to take our job, and so she's made herself available. She accepted our job, and I want to welcome Natalia Cervantes to our staff. I think she's going to be a real asset to the engineering department and this agency.
Welcome aboard.
Mark forgot to mention that Natalia is a big Angel fan.
Well, I won't hold that against her.
If he gives you any nonsense about any other team, you let me know. Anybody who starts off in the fast food industry is good with me. I remember vividly my first night at McDonald's making milkshakes, and look what's happened to me now. So Chick-fil-A,
That's a great organization.
they are wonderful.
What city did you work in? Okay, because I deal with the ones in Costa Mesa. Because they always give a donation to us for our golf tournament, like free sandwiches. So it's been a really good relationship.
This thing about Chick-fil-A is none of my grandkids argue if we want to go to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard. Glad to have you, and go Halos. By the way, they beat the Dodgers really bad last night. Did you see that? Yeah. Sorry, Julie. If he talks about the 49ers against the Rams, really let me know. Okay, anyway, welcome aboard. Glad to have you. All right, code enforcement report, David. Morning, sir.
Good morning, President Schaefer, members of the board. I'm here to present my report for the month of July 2025. This report summarizes major points for 3 ordinance enforcement topics covering scavenging, graffiti, and trash container enforcement. For the month of July, the CMSD's code enforcement officer focused his efforts in patrols in various parts of the community. The goal is to identify and deter instances of scavenging and residential carts left within the public view. In the month of July, the district saw a number of complaints filed with the CMSD code enforcement staff regarding scavenging activity in the city. As with most scavenging complaints, the alleged violations take place in the early morning hours. In order to address resident concerns, the code enforcement officer is patrolling the streets by 6:30 a.m. This month, I caught 4 scavengers through various parts of the community. Any questions on that?
I'm amazed in your report. Most of them generally comply and move along, don't they? And they probably go around the corner and not wait until you take off, which nothing we're going to do.
I usually do a circle around.
Knowing you, I'm sure that's the case.
Because it has happened multiple times where I leave and they just go, okay, he's gone. But when I circle back around, usually they go, it's time to go.
Have you had contact with any of the same
These were
four?
all first, a couple of ladies this time. Again, you know, kind of sad. One of these ladies was from China. She didn't speak a lick of English, but thank God for Google Translate. And a very nice resident on Orange Avenue helped me. Trash container enforcement. In the month of July, there were a few customer complaints reported to the district headquarters regarding trash carts left within public view. The following is a list of locations where trash cart violations were found and addressed by the courtesy notice process. Again, 142 violation notices in the month of July, listed by the streets and the amount of violation notices on that street.
Does the violation notice generally get compliance?
It does. I mean, I have a few habitual offenders that'll comply for a couple of weeks and then go
Yeah.
back, but usually it's, you know, not too bad.
Does the notice give them any alternatives? You know, like building a little screen and putting their containers behind it?
It doesn't have that language on there. The real deterrent is, you know, the citation of, you know, information starts at 75 and goes up from there.
You give out a notice if they move their trash cans back, but they're still in sight?
If they're in public view, I'm gonna tag them, and then if it's not taken off a private property, I'll turn it over to the city code enforcement for their enforcement.
Because we knew this would be a problem with the extra trash containers, you know, and I don't know did the city ever talk about changing their regulations? Because we knew it would be a problem, especially if you have four.
Any issues on Placentia?
There was some carts left out after Monday's run. I just been, you know, tagging those on a regular basis to get compliance.
The ones outside the little markers?
But they're inside the market.
Yeah, they're inside the bike lane now. I mean, unfortunately, they've basically taken up the whole bike lane now.
It's real bad because school's starting next week. It's gonna be a
That's why I
big
was saying.
headache, but we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah, well, as long as the kids stay on the, you know, the right side of the bollards, they'll be okay. It's just maneuvering around some of those carts because they're placing them all over within the bike lane.
I don't remember where I was yesterday, but I noticed brand new, they've started painting bike lanes on that street. I don't remember what street it was.
And a lot of those lanes now are for, you know, the bicycle can use the whole lane, so be cautious, you know, I mean, I've encountered it in Westminster, solo bike rider in the middle of the lane, like, why isn't he to the right? But
The one thing, and I'll ask, and I'm not sure which one of you I need to ask this, maybe Marissa. Are we getting notified by the city as they add those ballards? Are they letting us know?
We did meet with them recently, yeah, to discuss them keeping us informed when there are any projects that are going to be installing bollards or something else that could hinder collection. I don't think there's any plans for bollards in residential areas like that. But even if there's just a repaving project or something that's going on that's affecting service, they're supposed to be keeping us informed.
I think if we get notified that they are gonna do those, I think we need to be proactive and let the residents know, hey, you're gonna have to put your cans all the way up. Whatever we can do, I think.
Yes.
Can I ask the question to Julie? Is there a chance on Placentia, that you can have pickup on Placentia early in the morning before school starts? Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Is that could we possibly change that ordinance in this case on Placentia?
Wouldn't be enough time for school, no.
No, but in the future though, it could be.
It'll be a city decision if they want to do that, we can ask them.
It's just a thought. If they could, if you get the okay to start at 6, would you be agreeable to that if that could happen? Because if you get to go through 6:30 and most of the Placentia will be taken care of. It takes like 45 minutes or so to go through all of it. But just before school starts at 8:30 now. So that gives them a chance to do it, unless they can do it, be the first at 7. Just a thought. Pardon me? I know it's a headache, but just a thought.
Julie, is it a noise ordinance that is the reason you have to wait, or?
Much for all cities in Orange County, any residential collection cannot begin before 7 a.m. We can serve commercial businesses as long as they're 500 feet away from a residential property. We can start the commercial properties at 6 a.m. But if they're close to a residential sector, then we have to wait
Do you ever get complaints about starting early?
all the time. We get complaints from people starting at 7. They prefer to start at 9 or 10.
They're
All the
tired
ti-
people.
all the
that
time.
Have to get up early.
Thank
Anything else, sir?
Thank you.
So an interesting thing, so my trash gets picked up on Thursday and the street sweeper comes Friday, right? Last week, the street sweeper came on Thursday night. And there was no rhyme or reason other than maybe that guy wanted the day off on Friday or something, the guy that drove that. But I heard this noise and it was the street sweeper on Thursday at about 6 o'clock at night. So anyway, I don't know how important that is, but I thought I'd throw it in.
Yeah. Does the city have an ordinance about what time they can come at night? You know,
Oh, there has to be something.
just a curiosity.
I know for us, street sweeping, I'm not aware, but for us, it's 7 to 7. That's our window.
That's consistent with the trash. So.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, item 3, asset replacement fund.
Thank you, Mr. President. The board requested this item be placed on the agenda for discussion, so I'm going to turn this over to Caitlin Tran, who's going to be presenting this item.
Good morning, Mr. President and members of the board. In front of you is the report on the Asset Replacement Fund. The district established the Asset Replacement Fund in fiscal year 2010-11. The fund was created to ensure that the district has dedicated resources available for timely replacement for major capital infrastructure and equipment. When new equipment or vehicles are purchased, operating expenses for repairs will decrease, while contribution to the asset replacement fund will increase to support future replacement. Over time, through the budgetary process, the district has made consistent contributions to this fund. The district currently has a total of 69 assets for which funds are either actively being set aside or already have fully reserved, as you can see on attachment A. As of June 30th, the asset replacement fund balance is approximately $3.2 million, with $200,000 allocated to the solid waste fund and $3 million to the wastewater fund, as you can see on attachment B. Following a comprehensive review, staff determined that both the solid waste fund and the wastewater fund have excess reserves relative to their current asset replacement needs. The solid waste fund only requires reserves sufficient to replacing the code enforcement officer vehicle and some admin IT equipment. Based on the updated capital asset listing, the total asset replacement fund requirement is approximately $3,036,000, of which $79,700 is allocated to the solid waste fund and $2,956,300 to the wastewater fund. This results in excess reserve approximately $119,900 in the solid waste fund and $27,100 in the wastewater fund. The surplus in the wastewater fund, if you recall this, is due to the cancellation of a approved fund transfer for the purchase of the 2024 Kenworth vac truck. And the cancellation was on August 26, 2024. The district was able to cover the cost for the unit using the unspent funds from the operating budget at the time of the delivery of the truck. While the board may choose to reallocate these excess reserves to the fund balance, staff is recommending to retain them in the asset replacement fund to address potential future asset replacement needs or any unexpected expenditures. That concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
What about?
It appears it's a appropriately conservatively constructed fund. This isn't the fund, though, that we used to purchase the yard or this building, is it? We had some funds.
No,
We're able to-
that's, we use the capacity.
Okay. No, it's a very good report.
What is the capacity you're talking about?
The fixture fees,
Oh,
Yes. No, do we have access to the stocks that we have or, things that Mark tells us about we have, because that keeps going up. Do we have access to more of that money to use for sewer infrastructures?
the investment fund.
Yes.
Um,
That was what I was getting at the last meeting. Can't we take some of that investment funds and allocate it for more projects instead of waiting on those projects?
You have to wait for, it depends on if those investments are ready for call. If they're a call,
Yeah.
then you can liquid those investments. If you call early, I think there's some penalty fees on it.
I know, but my question is, once they're called, can't we, instead of reinvesting those money, can't we put that into the infrastructure?
Sure.
That's that's because we've been building that since for 30 some years, 40 years. And I like that. I would rather take that money out and use it for the infrastructure that we need.
But let's say if we have like 15 million investment, but of those 15 million, how much belongs to solid waste and how much to the wastewater fund? So you can't take solid waste fund and use for
Have you
wastewater
broken that
fund.
down already? What the investment funds, how that's broken down already?
I can come back with more detail on how much fund
I'd like
balance.
to see that, if we could. I mean, that's how, so I figure we should, while I'm here, get as many things improved as
What
possible.
we can do is we'll have this discussion with Mark Davis, our treasurer,
Okay.
and we'll put on the agenda, upcoming board meeting, have that discussion.
Typically, we are, as I understand it, the liquid funds like class and LAIF, we can take those and use them for emergency situations like Director Perry's saying. The called ones, we can take those, but like Scott mentioned, we're gonna pay a penalty if we take them before the call.
I don't want to take a call. I mean, I don't want to take them out too early. I want to take them out when it's time. If that works out with
Yeah, I think what I'd like, again, from Mark is, can we start looking at maybe fattening up? Well, that's the right word, but enhancing the reserves. Looking through the trucks, first of all, the thing that struck me was from 2014, I think, or no, from 2018 to 2024, Vector trucks went up $200,000.
We used to have one and then two and then now three.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that, so if they're now 600,000 when they used to be 400,000, it appears like the life expectancy on these things is what, 5 years? 10 years?
10 to 12, yeah.
Okay. So we're okay in that regard, but I keep thinking, if we had a situation where we had to go out and buy 3 Vector trucks because all 3 of them were destroyed or whatever, that's a lot of money.
That's why we have this asset replacement fund to help with that
Yeah,
case. Yes.
yeah.
And going back to what you're saying, Lave and class, it's readily liquidated to
Yeah.
use. But let's say, so we have, we're charging for sewer and solid waste fund. So the revenues coming in, that's the money that we're putting in to invest. So then just the budget here, the revenue that we receive from solid waste fund, and that's only for solid waste fund. And for wastewater, that's only for wastewater use. But we use these money to, when we receive twice a year, we use these money to invest. And so you can't really say that, oh, let's just take it out and use for these projects. And so we have that asset management fund where the board set the $5 million minimum. That's where we can use for capital projects.
Are we allowed to take, if it's allocated to the solid waste fund, can we say we've got too much money in there and move it over to the wastewater fund? Once they're in one of the accounts, they're there for perpetuity, right?
Because if you just think of 2 separate businesses,
Yeah.
that
Good
it's
analysis.
like you're stealing money from the other business, so you can't do that. And so when revenue comes in, you're not just looking at these revenues used for capital projects, but operations, personnel, and operations day to day. We have to pay CR&R. And so we can't just say, let's use wastewater fund and put everything into projects.
I mean, that even goes to the point if we wanted to pay for South Coast Plaza's repairs and we didn't have enough money in the wastewater fund, we can't say, let's go get some of that money that's sitting there in the solid waste fund. We can't do that.
We can't.
But I'd still like to have Mark look at that.
Yes, we'll put
You
that
know.
on the agenda. Yes.
But generally, those are policy decisions or are they state requirements? The distribution between one fund or the other funds coming in, the $400,000 to $500,000 in the 1% taxes, it's a policy decision where those funds go, a sanitary district policy decision.
We made that policy when we took the money, divided it up.
Yeah.
And we took the percentages, this is like 30 years ago or so,
Yeah.
25 years ago. So that's what we're discussing right now. Can we change those amounts?
Yeah.
You're talking about the reserve policy.
This was the spreadsheet is really interesting. I mean, just when you look at the dates and you look at the cost, for me anyway, it's markedly prominent in there to me. Okay, any other questions for Caitlin? Thank you.
Very good
Good
report.
job. Right, item 4.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am going to turn this over to Marissa Pereira, who's going to talk about a new educational program we would like to implement.
Good morning, President and members of the board. With the 3-cart system fully implemented, the district wants to encourage proper source separation, reduce contamination, and increase diversion by providing a comprehensive what goes where guide for customers. Recycle Coach offers a mobile app and online platform that provides this comprehensive what goes where search tool, as well as additional solid waste collection reminders and other educational resources. Recycle Coach also includes a client portal that will allow district staff to view frequently searched items, and other customer data to inform additional outreach and education efforts that the district participates in. Ryan Buhay, Recycle Coach's head of sales, is joining us on Zoom to provide a demonstration of the Recycle Coach platform. Ryan, thank you for being here with us this morning. I will now turn it over to you for your demonstration.
Fantastic. Thanks, Marissa. And thank you to the president and the board for taking the time to view this. So just to tee it up, Recycle Coach is a web and mobile platform used by hundreds of cities across North America to communicate all things waste and recycling, making it easy for residents to find the information they need to correctly participate in curbside programs. So I'm going to share my screen now and show you a live customer example so you can get a sense of what this looks like. Share my screen here. Okay, you should be able to see it now. And I'm actually going to turn off my video to save some bandwidth here. Here we go. Okay, so you're looking at the City of Glendale's website, not too far from Costa Mesa. This is their solid waste and recycling page. And this right here, this box, is what's called our web app. Now, our tools are available on the web app and on the mobile app. Residents can download the Recycle Coach mobile app, set their location, and get access to these same tools. I'll show you the insides of the mobile app after I get done with the web app here, but they exist in both places. So you can see the web app matches Glendale's website. We want to make this look like it's part of your website so as not to stand out too much. And I'm going to start with the What Goes Where tool, definitely our most popular feature when it comes to providing comprehensive education, not just for recycling, but really for every waste program that the municipality provides. So the What Goes Where is fully configured to the rules of your program for what's in, what's out. It has 15,000 different search terms built into it. And the resident simply just looks up what they're looking to dispose of. So let's say they just had a pizza party and they've got leftover pizza, or they got a pizza box. I type in pizza and it hits on anything pizza related in the database. So is it a pizza box? Is it rotten pizza? Is it a pizza oven, like a barbecue? So if I click on pizza box, a commonly misunderstood item in the waste stream, Glendale has configured this rule to say you can place the greasy portion in organics and the clean portion in recycling. So give them, extra context and nuance when it comes to those specific rules around different items. Now, if I type in, let's say I had a bulky item like computer, let's say I was getting rid of a computer in the city, it'll give me options based on what the city wants to communicate for drop-off items. So in this case, Glendale has said you can either place that in the trash, you can donate it, you can request a bulky item pickup, or even visit the recycling center. And you can configure all of this language to be whatever you want for the resident to understand how to get rid of this stuff. The synonyms are pretty sophisticated. Like if I type in Pepsi, it's going to hit on anything beverage related in the What Goes Where tool. So is it a Pepsi cup? Is it a Pepsi bottle? Is it a Pepsi can? If I say metal beverage can here, it's going to say, hey, you can recycle that, but also there are CRV refunds available for those items as well, and adding that extra detail. So by far our most popular feature, because it solves, a lot of myths and misunderstandings around recycling and helps reduce contamination and just makes it easy for the resident to find that information as they go through their day. They're cleaning up their kitchen after they're cooking a meal and they have jars and cans and what have you, and they just look all that stuff up really quickly and get the answer to where it goes. I'll pause at this tool for any questions.
I have a question.
Sure.
How many people in Glendale have used your app?
Actually, I can get to that when I show you the client portal. So the client portal can track users, web app users, how many downloads you have. So all the engagements in the app is measured in some way, so you can get a sense of your adoption as you roll this out.
I have a question. Can you tell me how to recycle inhalers?
In Glendale, we'll see. I don't know the rule specifically, but if I type inhaler, it hits on medical and first aid supplies and says inhaler there. So yeah, that's, you know, medical waste. And see what, this is the rule that Glendale has set though. So take their word for it, not mine. It says, hey, those can go in the trash. So whatever rule Costa Mesa wanted around inhalers, Marissa's team can configure those answers for the resident.
Well, we recently, my wife used one and on the literature with the device, it said, put them in the trash. I can't read what Glendale's saying there, but, it's not, it's a household hazardous waste item. So,
Yeah,
They say put it in the trash.
right. So don't get hung up on, you know,
mean
it's
trash.
the rule that's the answer Glendale wants. If Costa Mesa says that's an HHW item, they have, you can configure that answer in your tool.
okay,
Everything's configurable in our tools to be hyper specific to the municipality and what Marissa's team wants to communicate about the program.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to show you another educational tool that I find pretty interesting here is our discovery zone. So the what goes where is great to get a quick answer, but while we have their attention, we can teach them other things. We can kind of test knowledge and get data and analytics around that to understand where the knowledge gaps are in the program, to tighten up on education and understand the needs of the resident. So there's a weekly We Wanted to Know quiz that's all based on your rules. So the first quiz question here is, can you recycle paperback books? Now, the rules are set by the what goes where, so all this content will be configured to whatever Glendale wants to say. If I say, I'm going to say no, I say, hey, that's wrong. They are actually recyclable in our program. So we can measure knowledge as well and, you know, tackle wish cycling in that way rather than wait for folks to ask the what goes where questions. Down here, we have a video series that highlights different aspects of recycling called the Recycling Fundamentals videos. Introduction to contamination, why you should empty and clean, why wish cycling is bad, you know, if you're running a single stream program, why you shouldn't bag recyclables, why aren't all programs the same, highlighting different misunderstood materials so they can scroll through and understand a little more context around those items. If you're doing any community outreach, we have pamphlets, seasonal like activity pamphlets for kids to like fill out that are all waste diversion themed. And then we have internal content we create that is available in our discovery zone. So, you know, how to make this school year waste free is a recent blog we put up. If you're doing any traveling, sustainable tips, why recycling matters, all around waste diversion, circular economy, and why it's important to your program.
Well, we have a battery recycling program. Can that be highlighted in this information?
I think probably in here you could do it. You can highlight it there. There are also different ways you can enhance education through the messaging features of the tool. So that's a good segue into this portion of it. So a resident, you know, every curbside resident needs their collection schedule. So we make that easy for them here, and they can just type in their address into the tool and then look it up, and they can get their collection schedule. So in this case, everything's on Friday for this particular address, and then they have reminders around household hazardous waste days. We can handle any level of complexity when it comes to the calendar. I'll show you a more complex calendar here. This is Louisville, Kentucky. So they have, you know, weekly garbage and recycling and yard waste, but it's all kind of alternating. They also are able to put in different drop-offs, pop-up drop-offs that they sponsor. So anything related to waste you can put into here. And also we've had cities ask for their street sweeping schedules in here as well to remind residents what's happening. So anything happening curbside, you can highlight, or anything waste related, you can highlight in your collection schedule, and the resident can either download the app and get a notification that way, or set a reminder and toggle what they want to be communicated with about. So they can send it by email, text message, automated phone call, and create reminders.
And is there a place in there? One, we just transitioned to a recycling cart. And one of the items that I think about frequently is the size of the different carts and how how we intend as an agency to make those available to the public. Is that something that that kind of information, I expect there's a lot of people wanting to still change their cart since our program is very young.
Yeah, that's a good question. So if I click in on here on recycling, this is all configurable, this language. So this is all like this specific city. This is like the rules and kind of like what they want people to know about their recycling cart. So if you had more information you wanted to provide residents around that, you could certainly put it here saying, hey, if you want to swap out your cart, you need a big one, small one, what have you. You can provide them links or provide them a number or provide them more information about that specific cart.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. The mobile app I wanted to show you, since it is a really popular feature of our platform. It comes with the package that I'm demonstrating here, but it does have some nifty little extras in it that I think you'd find interesting. So I'm just going to share my cell phone, and I'll load up the app here. Okay, so this is my phone. I hope you can see that. I'm not sure how big it shows up on your screen, but I'm going to click on Recycle Coach, the app. I have my location set to a city. So the resident would just download their app, set it to Costa Mesa, and then all the tools would populate. So up top here, you have your what goes where tool. So like they can search out, yogurt tub and get specific instructions on what to do with that specific item. We also have a feature here that you can take a photo of different items and get an answer. So if I take a photo, I have this ratty old pen on my desk here. Take a picture of that, use that photo, and based on our technology, it can identify objects and give instructions. So first it asks like, hey, is that a writing and drawing device? Say yeah, and then it says, hey, that goes in the trash. Now down here, they can click in on their schedule and get that information, see the upcoming collections that are happening. In this case, it's today, garbage at 5 a.m. for the specific address. And then the quizzes are built in there. So they can take those quizzes. They can share with other residents like, hey, I have this useful app. You should download it too. And then our discovery zone here, they can watch the videos, understand the misunderstood materials, what have you. So the tools function the same way. It's a great user experience, the mobile app. It's definitely our most popular, but I just wanted to highlight that as it is included in our package. Now, really quickly, I'm going to pop over to our client portal and show you a lot of the analytics and messaging features that would be really useful to the solid waste team in Costa Mesa. Go back to my screen share here. Give me one sec. There we go. Okay, so this is called our client portal. So Marissa and her team would have access to this, as many users as they want. They would each have a welcome message up here. As part of our package, you're also paired with a customer success manager that would do all the training needed, all the support needed around these tools, make sure all the information is correct and being displayed properly. If there's any bugs or anything, we would address that. We'd also do check-ins, measuring, adoption. So I remember a question was like, hey, how do you know people are actually using this? All the usage is measured in the portal. So if I want to look at how many users I have, we can compare you with cities of a similar size to see like, are you exceeding adoption expectations? Or are you lagging behind? We have a lot of advice to share in terms of communication strategies to get more users, and then measuring participation method. That's really important. Not everyone's going to download a mobile app. A lot of people are just going to keep coming back to the web app or just sign up for communication, meaning I want, reminders and service alerts. That's all. So we can measure that across the board. Mobile app is obviously very popular. Web app's pretty popular too. And then breaking down users by zones, and then material engagements and insights. So Marissa touched on this, the what goes where is really helpful in answering questions for sure, but also helpful in the solid waste teams and understanding what the questions are so they can tighten up on their communication strategy and really be speaking to the needs of the resident. So we have monthly reports that go out to you. that show you, okay, these are the top 10 materials in the last month for this specific city. Furniture items, plastic tubs, food items, metal furniture items. So if you're doing any social media outreach or flyers or newsletters, speaking to these specific items and encouraging people to do the right thing with those things. So understanding where the knowledge gaps are in your program and using that data to drive your communication strategy, so you know you're speaking to what's most valuable informationally to the resident. Further, the quizzes that are built into our platform, they're very quick and easy to take, but on the back end, we get a lot of really great data to understand, what are the knowledge gaps in our program. So in this case, we have this dashboard called the Materials Correct Response Rate, and we can look at individual items. You saw me take that quiz about paperback books, individual items that residents are tested on throughout the weeks and months and years of the program. So in the last month, we look at, this is pretty low here, 59% correct response rate on chopsticks, popsicle sticks, and toothpicks. So I know as a recycling coordinator and educator, like that's a knowledge gap in my program I need to address, because who knows what people are doing with that. And so what I can do is we have different messaging features here. So if I go into the reminder messages, so whoever signed up for a reminder for recycling, I can add an informational message on top of that saying, hey, just so you know, popsicle sticks are not recyclable in their program, or they go on organics or whatever the rule is for Costa Mesa. And they'll get that message on recycling day as they're setting out their cart. So they can actually, address contamination on the spot. And we're giving them very timely information to create, a healthier program, reduce that contamination and all that wish cycling. Further to that, we have a notifications area. So if there's any delays in collection or any even like route changes that happens often, you can send out messages by zone to different areas and let them know what's happening. So they're not phoning in asking like, is the garbage truck coming today or not? It's 3 o'clock. They're usually here on time, being more proactive in messaging. So there's educational portions to it, service portions to it. You can edit the tools however you want. So if you wanted to change a rule for a specific item, you can come in here, look up the item, and then it shows you, hey, Tetra Pak cartons are part of recycling containers. If I wanted to change the rule for this material, let's say the program changed, as sometimes programs do, I can switch this to like a different category. Is it garbage? Is it a drop off? Is it something else? And then the whole database is updated. There's tons more features built in there, but I've been talking for about 20 minutes here. So in the interest of time, I think I'll pause there and open up for any other questions.
I have a question, Ryan. When you were doing the first part of the presentation, kept noticing up at the top of the application, a little thing that said, report a problem. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
This is an optional feature. You can remove this if you want, but let's say there's a problem with the app. So the resident can report that and we would get that information so we could address it. Is it a bug? Is something not displaying properly? Like all the technical stuff would come to us. The other portion of it, and this is optional, you do not have to do this, but some cities want like, I want to report a missed pickup, or we can like link to their 311 system. It's that type of stuff.
So in our case, if you have a missed pickup or report a problem, you would have to coordinate that with our vendor.
Yeah. So we can, I'll try to find an example. You could actually like just put, like, this is what Glendale did. Because I think they actually like do this whole like filter to report that, but this could just be as simple as like a phone number. This is all configurable to what you want to display, or even remove it. You don't even have to have it. So if it was like your hauler, you want them to call directly, or we could even set up an email form where that goes to the hauler directly. That's configurable in our platform.
I think in our case, because we have that GoGov reporting system, we would either not include this particular report a problem feature here and just refer customers to GoGov, or we could just put a link if we decided that would send them to our GoGov. But because we have that reporting tool, we'd want to continue using GoGov.
I was thinking about the GoGov. I just don't want us to duplicate something.
We wouldn't, no, we'd either
Right.
feature out or just refer them to our regular reporting system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this in the form of a statement, question, semi-question or something, but, everything that I've seen so far, the one component in there that I think would work with us is where does it, what goes where? A lot of
Yes,
that other stuff our vendors doing already, or we're doing already. But being able, I mean, the most frequent question we get is, where does my pizza box go? I mean, to me, so if we go with this system, it's all, we have to do the whole package.
right. So yeah, our primary focus was that what goes where tool. That's the biggest component that we're looking at. The other features are going to be kind of added bonuses for customers to get additional education, collection reminders, but it's all built into this. It's the basic essentials package, and so it does include those three components.
So the price that you had in the report,
It's for the
the-
package, exactly, right.
are we able to use any 1383 funds that we've already gotten?
We might be able to. So we did include outreach and education in the upcoming budget or the current now fiscal year budget, but I can reach out to CalRecycle and see if they'd cover a portion. It wouldn't be 100% covered because you are including HHW and bulky items and things like that, but they might cover a portion if we wanted to use
think-
grant funds for
I
that.
think as we get to any kind of decision, I'd like to know that.
Sure.
That was the first thing I thought of when I was looking at the report was, okay, it's 20,000 a year,
Yes.
Where can, I don't want to go to Caitlin to the asset management fund. It's too complicated. But not, you didn't make it complicated. It's this brain. So I'd like to see if there's any kind of help that we can get.
Definitely. So this is already included in the 25, 26, and 26, 27 budget. But we can definitely see if we can supplement that with grant funds and save some of the budget money.
Okay. The other thing I'd like to see before I make any kind of decision, and I appreciate the presentation and the PowerPoint that's on the staff report. The other thing, discovery zone, are we allowed to use that term since there is a discovery zone? When I saw that, I thought, oh, we're going to be working with,
Oh, Discovery Cube?
yeah. Oh, it's Discovery.
Discovery
Cube?
Cube, yeah. I don't think there's any conflict, no.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I thought that was called the discovery zone.
It's a cute.
I would like to see also, and Ryan, you may have to help with this, but go back to this duplication of effort. I want to make sure whatever we look at doesn't conflict or copy or take the place of what agreements we have with CR&R already.
Is there anything specific that you're concerned about being a duplication of effort?
Well, that report a problem thing, obviously. And
So that we
addressed.
weren't planning on
Yeah.
using that.
Yeah, I don't want our customers thinking, oh, do I call? Right now, they say, do I call the district or do I call CR&R? If we put a third component in there, forget it.
Right, no, we weren't planning on using that.
I just want to make sure that, even with the what goes where, let's make sure that stuff we've already have put out, if it's enhancing it, okay, I get that. And I think the last comment I have is, how long have we been on the program? Less than a year? And
Yes,
Yeah, it's not me.
6
Huh?
months about. We were fully rolled out by the end of December of last year.
I'm not sure we have enough data with our source separations and our whatever things we're getting from Mike. Do we need this?
I think based on what we're seeing here at the district, the biggest questions that we get are these unique items that people just aren't sure what to do with. We do put out a printed guide and we do social media, but you can only put so many items. And so, for example, we just sent out a recycling guide via email. And immediately we got responses, this is great, fantastic, but what about this item? And what about this item? And what about this item? And so this helps us cover those thousands of items that people are not sure what to do with. And it gives them a tool where they can just look it up at home. They don't have to call in or email in and wait for an
I
answer.
live with someone who says, there's no number in the middle of the triangle. throw it away. I lied. I did have one last, sorry, guys. The last question I have was, we have all of this, and I'm going back to the what goes where. We have all the rules and all the regulations, and this goes here and this goes there. Who downloads it? Who puts it into the system? Are you
So
gonna
we
have?
So they would have a base that they start with, and then we would make sure that it is, that it complies with the rules that we have and what CR&R will accept. So we'll be looking at all of that to make sure that what it says you do with the items is exactly what we want our customers doing with
Yeah,
the
and
items.
again, it's like this thing that Director Uten brought up with the inhalers. My wife uses an inhaler, and I think she throws it away, but I'm gonna ask her as soon as I get home.
Well, it'll say on the box to throw it away in the trash, but that's not,
Yeah,
it's a household hazardous waste item.
again, we've got, I don't want to go off on anything blindly without our partner vendor knowing what's going on.
Yeah, we definitely can involve CR&R. We check with them. If we're not sure what to do with an item, we're always reaching out to them. And so we can work with them to make sure the information in there is accurate to their program.
How will people find this program? Will we have something on the website?
Planning on doing, yeah, a lot of outreach. We can put it, when we have our Eco Expo, for example, we can promote it. We have our newsletter when we do social media, even mailers, we can include it on there so people know about it.
I got a couple.
Go ahead,
questions. Okay, Ryan, how many cities in California are using the program?
Okay, good question. So we have Glendale, Palmdale, Culver City. There's a solid waste district. It starts with an L. The name is failing me. I would say about like 5 or 6 probably. But across North America, hundreds. We're highly utilized in many states. In fact, we have state agreements with the state of Illinois and state of New Jersey who bought the tools for all municipalities in the state. So we're very widespread.
Okay, then go back to my original question, 15 minutes ago. How many people in Glendale have put up the app for use?
How many people in Glendale have downloaded it?
Yes.
So I'm actually not allowed to share that data because they own that data. So all the analytics and stuff, I can reach out to them if you'd like to speak to Glendale on their experience and they share that data with you. But because of our service agreements and things like that, the data is not mine to share, it's theirs to share.
Yeah, because I'd be interested in finding out, because they're similar to Costa Mesa in size. And I thought,
Sure.
That would be a good idea. How many people are going to take advantage of this program?
I can reach out to them. I feel like I saw an article, I'll see if I can find it, that highlighted how many users they had, but I can reach out and see if they can share that data.
And then I have another question for you. Are there any new state requirement updates that we have to be looking at now because of after the first year with the state of California?
Nothing right now. I mean, SB 54 with packaging is coming down the line, but right now we're just continue focusing on what we're doing. Yeah.
Would you say so? We're doing pretty good, probably better than most. And that's,
We're doing
I'm
as
concerned
good
about
as we
spending
can.
money,
Mhm.
because I would rather use the money in a different way personally. But that's, I've always been pretty conservative with that.
We
So-
have the best staff, of course, we're way ahead.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But if there's a new state requirement that's something we're not doing, then I would feel maybe this program might be good, but I'm not quite sure yet.
I think something good about this program, say there were new requirements coming out on how to recycle or something changed, that can all be integrated into this program. So now we were putting this item in trash and now we're putting it in recycle. This will tell customers what to do with it.
Julie, do you happen to know if any new things are popping up that you're aware of?
And again, this is a 3-year minimum contract.
Yes.
Minimum contract, you just can't do it for 1 year?
Ryan can answer. I don't believe so. I think it's 3 years, but Ryan, do you have additional information?
3 years is our standard. Yeah. We can talk about less length, but it might affect price, like a longer contract, cheaper price on the front end, that whole thing.
I think one of the things that makes me nervous about a 3-year contract is, I don't know, where are you located right now, Ryan? Are you in Louisville?
No, I'm Canadian. I'm on Vancouver Island, Canada, West Coaster.
Want to trade places? Place.
Hey, I was just in Monterey last week at CRA. It's pretty nice down there. Well, I got a little sunburn on my face.
Monterey's too cold.
Yeah.
So the thing about a 3-year contract, and I'm sure you're getting used to this, is we're in the state of California. And the rules and the regulations and the stuff that we have to deal with change based on a whim sometimes. So we have the county recycling, we have state, all this stuff. I'd hate to get into something long-term and have it blow up on us because somebody in the state decided we're gonna go to a 4-can system or, and I'm being, you know, a little out there, but, I think we need to give some thought to that too, about how long we want to tie into something.
Yeah, I understand that. I've been in the industry a long time, 13 years. I'm well aware of a lot of what's happening in California in terms of legislation, SB 1383, SB 54. The educational components of our program are designed to shift with those changes, right? And have you adopt your user base and you can shift with the changing times. If things are, you know, we're adding another cart, we're changing all these rules, all of that stuff is configurable in our platform. So it's really, you know, to give you ease of mind in terms of like, oh, I don't have to do this whole outreach thing. It's all just kind of built in to our system. And Marissa's team can configure that all. I understand the concerns, but like when it comes to education, it is highly malleable to any change in your program.
Not uncommon. Most of our consulting contracts are 3 years with, you know,
Yeah, I was thinking-
1 year, two 1-year extension options. And all of our contracts has a termination clause in it. So I don't know what this termination clause for this contract is, but
Okay.
again, 3 years is very common for the consulting services.
I'll just add, it's common to add language around termination clauses. Like we're very flexible when it comes to like the terms of the agreement, and there's always a middle ground that we can work out to make everyone feel okay about it.
Good. So you have some more questions that we needed?
Yeah, just to make sure. So we want to know what % of this we'd be able to cover with grant funds, how many users we have in Glendale. We want to look at an option for a 1 or 2, maybe 2-year agreement, see what the cost difference would be. Was there anything else that you wanted us
I
to?
think, and we talked a little bit about, I'd like a real hard look at what they're offering as to what's really going to benefit us. Like I said, the what goes where, to me, that's the most important thing that we could use. And I want to make sure again that we're not duplicating anything we're doing already with CR. So just a quick look at
So
that.
just maybe a look at what we're doing and how this kind of enhances and differs from that? Okay.
That'd be perfect.
And maybe, yeah, get input from CR&Rs. It could be really important.
You want to
noted.
bring this back at the next study session? Does that work?
Or a little bit more time.
Whatever you guys, yeah, I'm sorry, it's whatever you guys. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else for Marissa or Ryan? Well, Bob, anything else? Okay, Ryan, thank you. Good presentation.
Thank you, Ryan.
And
Thank you.
the key to Monterey is use a stronger SPF on your that
I'll think about that for next year. Yeah.
yeah, come down to Palm Springs this week. It's gonna be 150.
Hey, I was in Palm Springs in April for a different thing. Yeah, it's different there for sure. I'll bring SPF 50 to Palm Springs next time.
Absolutely.
April's different than July.
Hey, thanks, man.
And August.
Appreciate the.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Marissa. Thanks for putting up with our stuff. Okay, I think that's all our items. Closing items. One quick comment. Was it at the liaison meeting that someone was talking about how bad they were treated at OCC recycling? Where did we hear that? Was it here? It was a CAC meeting, wasn't it?
Yeah, CAC meeting.
And people were complaining about how they were treated at the, do you guys have any sense of that or?
Mike, what was,
Oh, I'm sorry, you
Missed
it was somebody at CAC that said They went over there and people were rude to
Oh,
them,
at
yeah,
the
at-
workers, and
at
they
the
wouldn't
cube?
help them and
Oh,
Coach College.
oh,
it's funny,
I
I,
haven't received anything.
you haven't gotten anything on.
OCC?
At OCC.
I've driven by there, kind of on a regular basis. They're not getting a big volume. There's rarely anybody there.
I got a question. Are we still getting any percentages from OCC now?
Yeah, probably.
No, no, they're a private, it's run by a private company now,
Uh,
so
Yeah,
So who gets those percentages?
I don't
Because
think it would apply to anyone because it's
OCC.
just a private company that's recycling now. It's not, it doesn't fall under our program or the city's programs.
we used to get some numbers, didn't we,
we
from
get
Mike?
2 or 3%, something like that. But that popped up in my mind last month, so.
All right, let's keep an eye on it if you hear anything. I'm about ready to take some cans over there, so I'll give you a personal.
Yeah.
I'll walk in there and try to take it. All right, anything else? Nicole, anything else? Thank you. Bobby?
well, we probably had a big impact on OCT recycling when we put out the recycling cart.
Yeah, I think it did cut into their stuff a little. People
That's true.
that don't want the money.
Yes.
Yeah, there's still a lot of people that recycle their cans and bottles. you know.
It's good grandchildren fun.
Because I still do that, for my grandkids,
So do we. All right, staff, anything else? Thank you. Good information this morning. Appreciate it. We're adjourned to Monday, the 18th for our board meeting. Okay.
What is the date that we're gonna interview the candidates that apply? September 2nd. Yeah, okay, September 2nd. What time of the day? 4:30.
It's like a regular.
Sounds good.